Alrighty, welcome back to the stream, and welcome back to Adventures in Game Dev, where we're working on BlockBall again. So, goal today is basically set up a sort of win screen. Well, two things, really. Hold on a second. Alright. So, my plan today was the following, right? So let's go to my to-do list here. I have two things I want to do. First, a winner. I want to, when the game is over, someone has hit the max score limit, little thing pops up that says, the winner is so-and-so. Which allows them to go, okay, yeah, okay, so so-and-so won. In the background, the game can do whatever, doesn't really matter. Second thing I want to do is do a menu pop-up. So, if you press escape in the middle of the game, instead of exiting and going back to the main menu, instead it'll just pause the game and let you go resume game, settings, quit. Very simple. Also, the music today is being provided once again by StreamBeats. This is the hi-fi playlist. It's pretty funky. Alright. Resolution to size. Yeah, okay. Resolution is something I'm going to have to deal with at some point as well. Right. So, game room. First, I'm going to have to refamiliarize myself with how the functions work here for the game. So I probably want to go to object score, because I imagine that's probably where it is. So destroy the instance of the ball. If the score is equal to 1 and the ID is blah, blah, blah. Yep, okay. This is all just basically if variable is greater than global min score, set global variable. Okay. Yeah, so these are just the scoring things right here. So, if the score of player 1... Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm just doing a quick check. If the score for player 1 is greater or equal to the max score, that means the game's over. Set global winner to 1. Set global score P1 to 0. Set global P score 2 to 0. So what can I do here? So if global score P1 is less than -5... I don't know why I had those here. I think I created these just for the purposes of is less than -5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just created these for the purposes of setting a minimum score. So I can just delete those. Should I put in here, though? Alright, so how do I get this to work? This could probably be easy with an array, honestly. No. How would I even do an array with that? I would have to set I there, and then I guess at each at each step, this would be a step instead of a thing. I feel like I should probably start with something else. So UI game. Let's go here. So on step, if escape is pressed, instead of doing this, this is going to be a separate thing. So if key is pressed, instead of going to the main menu room, we are going to, let's see. I want to get variable. Declare temporary. Get instance variable. There we go. Okay, get instance variable for specific object, the ball. Variable speed and direction. Okay, so ball.speed. No, hold on. Let's call B speed. And get instance variable direction. Does that even work for this? Let me check. What is Mac Studio 2 speed versus direction? Direction value of the instance. Okay, direction. This might work. Okay, so direction, let's call it B direct. B direction. Okay, get instance variable. And then, so that's going to be from the ball object. Then we're going to assign variable to the ball. Actually, I don't want to assign a variable. I want to set a variable. Object. So we're going to set its direction to 0. Actually, do I even need to do that? I could just set its speed to 0, right? Okay, so if V escape is pressed. So what I'd actually want to do here is put this here. If pause. So G paused for game paused is equal to 1. Or rather is equal to 0. Okay, so if variable, so we're gonna set on creation. How did I set this up? Did I set up there's a varnits, that's right. There's a varnits object for this. Setting inits, game varnits. There it is. So let's set another global variable here. Set global variable, and we're going to go call it geekpaused. And value is going to start off at 0. So G paused, it'll be 0. There we go. Global.gpause is equal to 0. Then set global variable global.gpaused to 1. So if it's set to 0, it'll set the global gpause value to 1. It'll stop the speed. Set instance variable of the ball to 0, and it'll set hold on. Winner, score P2, score P1, else score, max score G paused. Object paddle. Assign variable paddle speed 7. So paddle.paddle speed to 0, I guess. So it just won't take inputs. Okay, so yeah, this looks good. All right, so then I go to the UI game, set instance variable equal to 0, and set the value of an instance variable. I want to call. No, these are different. Okay, so set global assign variable, set direction variable, tile map variable. I could just set another global gpause thing right here. So if I go to object controls and go like this, set up a new if right here. No, delete that. If global G paused is equal to 0, so the game's not paused, then these controls function. Otherwise, they will not. There we go. So let's go back to the game UI on step. All right. So when escape is pressed, if global G pause is equal to 0, global G pause is set to 1. I pull out the variable speed. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so we're actually going to set this to because this is not going to work right now. If I do this, it's not going to pull this out properly, I bet. Let's go back to the game and try it out. Hey, it worked. Paused it. Okay, so get instance variable, set instance variable to speed is equal to 0. So the B speed has been created. So that's if that happens. Also, let me actually just double check that the controls turn off then. Right? Good. Can't do anything. All right. So now, if global.gpaused is equal to 1, then let's just copy these in here. So I didn't copy them. Okay, so global gpause, set that to 0. Get instance variable, don't need that. Speed. Set the ball to that, and I don't need to pull out that value anymore. So let's try that out. Okay, it's not pausing it anymore for some reason. Oh shit, of course, that's right, because it's automatically doing this. It automatically searches through the top and the bottom. That's right. Okay, when that's press escape, it'll run this. And then how do I do that? It may break? Break out of a loop, will that work? No, because that doesn't work here. Else? Where does this go? Does that go? Okay, that goes there. Perfect. I'll put that there. So, if this one evaluates to false, then it'll run to that one. But it won't run it otherwise, it looks like. Alright, so let's start the game. It works. Pause. Restart. Pause. Controls don't work. Restart. Pause. Restart. Pause. Restart. Pause. Restart. Yes! Oh, that's what I like to see. Look at this. Ah, lovely. Okay. So we set the pause thing now. So now this only apply in the game menu, so that's fine. Now here's the question. How do I set these things up? Is there a way to, like, visible? No. Because I need to, like, have the menu there, I think, but invisible and not interactable. Until... set draw alpha, draw gradient rectangle, draw rectangle. Is that gonna... Can I put that here? Let's try drawing a rectangle. Let's go 100, 100, 200, 200. Let's see if this works if I press escape. Okay, it's not drawing the rectangle. Hmm. Draw a sprite. Let's select the sprite menu. Let's try that. See what happens. Okay, it's not drawing it. Why wasn't it working? Anyway, the main reason I'm doing this first is because this is basically the same technique I'm going to be using to create the actual stuff. Oh, wait, can I? Can I make a new layer, which is the menu? Actually, yeah, that's what I did here. Because the menu layer has nothing on it. So I did this already. Hey, I'm smart. Haha. So how do I set a layer? Is it possible to set layer visibility? Okay, so draw event. Case. Write the code and into 2 seconds to make it useful. So on this code. The pause variable is true, and we check to see if the surface we'll be using to draw said instance actually exists or not. Oh, there is actually a blog thing for this. Perfect. So they make asteroids. Okay, so assign variable paused, pause surfaced. So create object events, assign variable paused and pause surface. Variable pause either true or false. Okay. I see. Now I need to open the step event of the object. Okay, so if P is pressed, paused, set to. You can do an exclamation mark to do not? Oh my god, that simplifies a lot of shit. Yeah, if I do that. Okay, does this work? Let me see. Because it is only going to be a... How do they set up the paused value? Do they set it as a... Oh, they set it as false. So you can actually change it to... Oh, okay. So the value is... Do you pause? False. Value is true. Okay. Now I know. Okay, so let's go back to varnits. Pause, set that to false. I didn't realize false, you could just enter like that as a control, as a thing. Okay, so let's see if this works. Because this will actually change things a little bit if it does work. Yeah, nice. Okay, so if things are paused, true or false, depending on the game's pause, the variable pause surf will use to hold the ID of a surface. And a surface is a... What is a surface? Surface is basically a blank canvas that can later be manipulated before being drawn to the screen when needed. In most cases, uses GameMaker Studio 2 something. Tile layer. Instance layer, okay. Surfaces use VRAM. Only create surfaces in the draw event. If you create a surface in the create event, for instance, you can potentially get the same index as the application surface. Because problems. Okay, it's... I don't understand how to do this. Okay, draw the game. Setting pause / unpaused. Alright, so currently we've got it. If key pressed, pause equal to false, then instance activate all surface free. Pause surf. What? Instance activate all? What is that? Function call? What? Oh my god. That's a thing? Well, that simplifies things greatly. Alright, so if I go to here, instead of doing this, I think I can just do... So it should just be instance deactivate all. All, not me. And then I'll just disable these two for the time being. Similarly, instance activate all. Let's see if that works. Ah, also I need to have this. Forgot about that one. It says here, wrong number of arguments or function instance deactivate all. Okay, so what about instance activate all? What about instance deactivate? Gotta deactivate the instances too. Argument true. Ah, it deletes them. I see. That's Error in action number 1. A step 0 on GUI game. Invalid call target. Instance activate all. So what happens if I do this? Okay, it actually does work. So this does in fact work. The controls are working perfectly fine as a result. I was trying to not hit it. Okay. All right, so infants. Instance deactivate all works, which means I can actually go back to my I can actually go back to my control object and turn that off. Or get rid of this bit. Actually, I don't think I want to do that. I think I just want to delete this. Ah, shit. Okay, so just move these ones out. There you go. All right, so instance deactivate all does that. Then what do I do? Checking to see if P is pressed. If it was pressed, we toggle pause variable using the not operator. Then we check if it's false. We activate all the instances in the room, free the surface that we use for drawing while the game is paused. Okay, drawing the pause screen. Okay, so we got a draw event. Okay, so insert a pause code into the event. Pays for art room game at the position marked below. Yeah, okay, whatever. Break the code, add in 2 sections, make it easier to follow. Start with how this code. If variable pause is true, function call surface exists, argument pause surf, target check. If variable check is false, then pause surf is equal to -1. Deactivate all. What is that? We're using the checking to see if the pause variable is true, and if it is, then we see if the surface we'll be using to draw instead of instance actually exists or not. If it doesn't, we then check the pause surf variable to see if it's -1 or not, and if it is, we deactivate all the instances except the calling instance, which is the game controller. Why is this step important? Well, surfaces are volatile. It means things outside the game can destroy them. And when that happens, surface exists will return false, but the pause surf variable won't be -1. So we won't call the deactivated code again. Okay, draw the application service to the application in canvas. So if function call, if variable check is false, then that else. Set draw alpha, set draw color, draw rectangle. Ah, I see. Oh, you can actually do room width over 2, room height divided by 2 minus 50. Ha! That's pretty funny. Okay, so what I would do then is I would go to the UI object for the game. And on the draw event, see. So I will go to the draw event and set a bunch of stuff to execute. Okay, it's just confusing. Okay, so if global dot g paused is equal to is true. So if the game pause is true, then surface exists, pause surface, and then create a temporary check variable. The check variable is false, but how do I... Okay, let's see here. Okay, so going back up to the top, set up, assign a variable paused, and paused surface. It's -1. What is... Pause surface will be used to hold the ID of a surface, which is what we'll use to draw the game. Ah, okay, so, right, that's an ID number. That's what that is. So if I go back to... I'm going to probably go to Varanits. Let's go, pause. There we go. Pause surface. Okay, so used to hold ID of a surface. So that's just a variable. It's whatever. Just a number. Setting pause / unpause. You know, I open up the step event. Yeah, okay. So I've got pause and unpause there. Assign variable. If variable pause, then surface. Surface free paused surface. Okay, check if it's false. The game was paused, which is unpaused. And if we activate all the instances of the room and free the surface that we use the drawing game while the game is paused. I wonder what this is about. It's probably a spam call. Yeah, I think it was probably a scam call. God, I really hate those. All right. Anyway, let's see. Pause surface. I'll set the variable number 1 again. We do this because we're using as control for deactivating instances in the draw event, which we'll explain in a moment. Okay, so assign variable pause surface -1. Doesn't really matter. So what I do here is I would go to UI game, and under the function call for when it's paused, when it's equal to false, when it's not paused rather. So this is no, wait. This is backwards. Okay, so when I press P, it assigns the variable pause to not paused. And then if the variable is false, then it does a function call under the instance activate all, surface free paused surface. Let's see. Surface free, argument. Pause surface. And then assign pause surface to 0. All right. So this'll apparently what this'll do is this'll take the surface I'm going to be drawing to and like free it up so it doesn't use as much VRAM. Okay, so now I'll go to the draw event. Is it draw GUI or just draw? Oh, just draw. Okay, so okay, if pause is true, if global dot gpause so global.gpause is true. Global's global, right? It's not going to be room based. Are regular variables room based? Okay. When pause is equal to true, function call surface exists pause surface. Let's do that, I suppose. Temporary variable check. And if check is false, okay, so this is checking if the surface exists and puts it into a temporary variable called check. And if check is false, then if variable what? Hold on. So if variable paused surf Function call deactivate all true. All. And then execute code. Okay, so if pause is true, right? If pause is true, then you check to see if the surface is going to be there. If it doesn't, then okay, so the important part here is here. So put the else there, and then that's where I'm going to be doing all the draw stuff. Function call draw surface. Okay, so the argument is paused surface. Because the draw surface thing is a three-part function. Needs the ID x and y, so you just take the ID here, x, y. Right, okay. Set draw alpha, set draw color. Okay, so set draw alpha. Let's do it to 0.5. Set draw color. And set recommends FF and then 0. So black. Use alpha false. Okay, so use alpha false. Draw a rectangle from top corner to room width, room height. Okay, then set draw alpha again. Set draw alpha to 1. Set text alignment. Set text, no, get text alignment. Set text alignment. Fa center, fa top. There we go. Set draw color. Doesn't matter, I guess I could just do whatever I want for this. So draw color, false, draw transform value. This is just going to be, it's just going to say paused. Room width over 2, room height over 2. Got room width and height, scale 3. Then file F at top, and then reset the text alignment and colors. File left top, and then set this one to true. I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that. All right. Okay, so what it's so obviously this part here fairly simple. What it does is, all right, global pause. If paused is true and the surface exists, global surface exists. No, this is actually just a function call. So this part will happen regardless. So if it's paused, and actually this check is not false, which means the surface exists, it will draw all this stuff. So it'll draw the surface. It'll set the draw alpha to 50%, so it'll be semi-transparent. It'll draw a black rectangle covering that, which is half transparent. Then sets the alpha to 1, creates text that just says paused right in the center of the screen, and here it resets the text alignment and draw color to normal. I don't know why you do that. Okay, so the part above it is what I'm not 100% sure on, though. Because it also wants me an execute code, which also, there's an execute code thing, which seems very powerful. Because this allows me to effectively mix and match GameMaker language and drag and drop, which I'm just gonna favor this. Because that seems incredibly useful. Like, if there's something I need to just, like, do a little bit of mucking around with GameMaker language, that's what I do. I would just execute code right there and just pop it in. Like, this is the perfect middle ground. I didn't realize this thing was here. I thought I just had to use scripts. Okay, so if pause surface is null, effectively, deactivate all true. And then paused surface. Okay, so no, this one goes actually here. I want to move this. I want to open this up a little bit more just so I can see things better. Yeah, so this is going under if pause surface is equal to 1. So setting it to equal to 0 is the same thing, effectively. Pause surface equals surface create room width root height. Global pause surface equal to surface create room width, comma, room height. And then, okay, it's one of those things where you have to put semicolons at the end of each line. Surface set target, pause surf. Okay, draw surface. Tells application surface. Is that a built-in? Built-in variable, yes, application surface. And then 0, 0. Okay, surface reset target. Okay, so what are these? All right, so here's how the code works then. When it's paused on the draw step, it'll go, okay, is it paused? Yes. Does the surface, pause surface exist? It checks that, creates the variable check. If it creates the variable, it checks the variable. If it's false, it goes here, sets the global pause surface variable to 0, Function call deactivates all instances and then creates the surface. If it's true, then instead it goes down here and draws to that surface the square and all that stuff. Now, when it does this, global pause surface is surface create, room width, room height, right? Okay, that makes sense. Surface set target. What is surface set target? Surface set target. With the function, you set all further drawing to the target surface rather than the screen, and in this way, you tell GameMaker Studio to only draw specific things to the specified surface. Please note that if you do not call surface reset target after you've finished, nothing will be drawn on the screen, as all further drawing, even in other instances, will be done on the surface. Ah, so that's why this is here. It comes paired almost. Draw the surface. What is application surface? This global scope built-in variable can be used to access the application surface using any of the surface functions. Okay, so I think that's literally just like the window itself. Okay, so it creates the room. It sets the room as the target for all further drawing. It draws... Okay, draw surface. The unique ID of the surface to draw. Okay. I see. So it takes application, puts it on that surface, which is effectively just drawing it out. Okay. Okay, so is there anything else I need to do there? Surface target. Surface. Okay, function call. Function call, execute code. Yeah, okay. Alright, so now let me check over what this thing says. Here we're checking to see if the paused variable is true, and if it is, we then check to see if the surface we'll be using to draw instead of instances actually exists. Right. If it doesn't, we then check the pause surface variable to see if it's -1 or not, and if it is, we deactivate all the instances except the calling instance, which is the game controller. We don't want to deactivate the controller. Why is this step important? Well, surfaces are volatile, which means that things outside the game can destroy them, like minimizing the game window. And when that happens, the surface exists check will return false. But the pause surface variable won't be 1. So there's no surfaced anymore, but there's no but the pause surface thing gives me an ID still. It only had the ID value of the old surface. So we won't call the deactivate code again. This means we will only deactivate objects when the game is paused, and it also means that we can use this section to create other instances after calling the deactivate code, like pause menu buttons or logos or whatever, and they won't be affected by the deactivation. Oh. Next, we create our surface and draw the application surface to it. The application surface is essentially the canvas onto which everything in the game is drawn. So by copying it to the pause surface, we're preserving what is currently being drawn to the screen. I see. So I put the new instances right here. So I put like I don't know, create instance, I don't know, object menu. There you go. I create that there effectively. This would actually go in the menu instances layer. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so start game. Playing BlockBall and Okay. Well, that's not working properly. So why isn't that working right? I'm mostly curious about why it's not drawing the rectangle. I mean, it's drawing the rectangle, but it's drawing it white for some reason. So I'm just going to disable these real quick. Let's disable those and see what happens. Okay, it's completely white. Why is it completely white? So why is it saying it completely white? Like, the draw color should be black. I wonder, it might actually be. Let's try this. Oh my god, look at this. How did that even... How did that even... What the fuck? How's that even work? What was that doing? Yeah, something's up with the draw. Okay, how about this? Wait. Do I even need this surface shit? Hmm. Okay, I'm just gonna. You know what? Let's just reset this. I don't need any of that. I don't need any of that right now. Okay, and if I go back to the control object, right? I did remove that, didn't I? Probably should have kept it around. Oh well. It's equal to true or no, false. Do that. There we go. Okay, why is it doing this now? Oh, wait, what? Oh, right, because I didn't disable the draw object. I just closed the menu. Right. Okay, so now let's just delete this entire thing. No controls. Good. Okay, Well, let's just close that out. And, is that going to draw it back up? Yep, correct size. Good, excellent. I feel like I should probably close everything. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here instead of dealing with this surface nonsense. Okay, okay, so we're gonna do... Uh, okay, so looks like surfaces are something I'm gonna deal with. I'm gonna have to deal with later on. But for now, I think I can deal with just the pausing stuff. Okay, let's see. So what do I do here? So what I want to do is when the game is paused. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so when the game is paused, when the game is paused, I want it to... Okay, so let's go after all this stuff, right? If the key is pressed, I want it to spawn instances. Or I want to create instances. And let's call this magic menu. Call this listen to the menu. No, it's on the layer. It's on the menu layer. That's literally what it's called. It's not any of those other ones. Target. The object menu at room width 5x2, room height, room height, height by 2, plus 100, let's say. Target. We're gonna call this one. I don't know what would I even call this? Object menu. Let's call this the resume. Inst G menu resume. Okay, so let's see if this works. There it is. Right there. probably want to raise it up a little bit. So let's subtract a couple points from that. Let's make it minus 300. That'll be resume. And create instance. Let's just copy this. Menu, resume, main. Let's go setting. And okay, so if it's true already, if it's currently set to that, then you destroy an instance, applies to all of the object menu types. So let's see if that worked. Looks good. Okay, and I forgot to move these. So negative 100 plus 100. Hey, look at that. Ha 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 ha. Okay, and let's I also want to create an instance of object selector. Let's create a new object, I suppose. Let's duplicate object selector game. All right, so on user event 0, it does. Right, these are the temporary things for the settings, I believe. Okay, so previous Y, yep, settings. Okay, so this is going to be a menu, resume. Menu, settings, G menu. Should be G menu. So G menu settings, G menu resume, G menu settings, G menu main. Menu. This will be instance G menu resume inst G menu setting inst G menu main. Resume is 0. Settings is 1. Main menu is 2. Inst see. So assign variable, setting selected, menu selected is that. Assign variable. Assign variable I global dot. All right, this is for actually selecting the things, isn't it? So I don't need this. Actually, I probably should copy the main menu instead of this one. Okay, silence creation. Blah, blah, blah. G menu. Zoom. Okay, so this is G menu. G menu resume. Setting. There we go. So menu selected. We're going to start at G menu resume. Assign variable I to 0. Assign variable enter to 0. So on the steps, if mouse preview I is not equal to current mouse preview I, menu selected is G menu selected is equal to instance nearest for the mouse X, mouse Y, for object menu type. Also, I'm probably going to need to initialize, because I think when I do... Pretty sure I'm going to need to initialize G menu selected, because I don't think it's... Alright, it's right there. Pop. Okay, so mouse previous Y is mouse Y. There we go. Okay, if down is pressed, then I is I plus 1. If I is equal to 3, then set to 0. Menu selected is G menu I. I pressed 1. If it's negative 1, set it equal to 2. G menu selected, G menu I. Jump to point, G menu selected X, G menu selected Y. Enter 1. If key enter is enter 1. If enter is equal to 1, assign variable to 0. G menu. If G menu selected is equal to inst G menu resume, then press escape, I guess. How do I press a key? Oh my god, it's really snowing out all of a sudden. Wow. I was not expecting this. Like, we've had... It's been pretty whatever the last couple days. Like, it was really windy yesterday, but it's also really warm, so all the ice melted away. But now all of a sudden it's really snowy, and this is kind of bizarre. Like, the weather is going places today. It's 19th of February. Okay, so if resume is hit, what I want to do is I want to destroy all instances of the type object menu and destroy all instances of the type object selector G menu. So those one both go away. Go to room. Don't do that. I want to set global set global variable to global dot paused to the inverse. I mean, this should only be popping up if it's paused anyway. that reminds me, I'm going to have to set this one to actually be created. Okay, so pause. Okay, if it is equal to setting. Yeah, get the previous room, go to the settings room. Perfect. And if now I'm aware that if I do this, I'm not going to save the current state of the room. I would have to like create a second. I would have actually, instead of doing this, I'd have to create a second settings menu that pops up. So that's probably how I'd have to do settings to begin with. Just instead of going to a different room, the room would sort of pop up in the window. And then finally, if gmenu selected is equal to gmenu main, go to room, menu main. There we go. Yeah. So I'm just going to do that. And because settings are only ever going to go back to the current room. Global dot paused equal to actually no, that's not true. I want to set to false no matter what if I'm exiting the game. I don't want to unset. I'm probably forgetting something, but let's try this out for now. Object Selector settings event create at line 19 alignment assignment operator expected. Huh? What? What? I'm not even using this. I mean, assignment. Huh. What is it? What does that mean? Why isn't it not working all of a sudden? That's very strange. You know, let's just do 0, 1, 2, 3. See if this fixes it. What? What? Why is it telling me assignment operator expected there? Object selector settings. I didn't even change this. That's the weird part. Assignment operator expected. Macro neg5 unused. Oh yeah, that's right. I did do that, but I mean, I just did that to fix this, but why is it? What does that mean? Okay, let me. What happens if I just disable this entire thing for a second? I just won't go into settings for a minute, because it's gonna call a thing that doesn't exist. Creating instance for non-existent object from 4. Instance layer create 4 instances none. Okay. So UI game. Oh, God, I'm stupid. Forgot to delete that. There we go. Okay, so the menu. Oh, right. I did forget to actually do something here. So menu, object, object selector, game menu. There we go. Put that on the menu. And X is going to be inst G menu zoom dot x inst G menu zoom dot y. Okay, not set before reading it. Okay, let's just do room. There we go. Object selector. Oh god, that's right. Shouldn't it be going? Shouldn't it be reading up to down? Like, isn't that how that works? So, right, I'm trying to place it on the resume thing, but it's not doing it. Maybe pause? Hold on. Alarm, I think, is the thing that does this. Alarm 0. I don't know how this works. Okay, so global. If the game's paused, then we're going to draw some transform values here. And we're going to draw a resume. Okay, so let's see what happens if I do this. And just for a moment, I'm going to also disable this one. Hey, look, there it is. It works. So that one works. Why doesn't this one? Okay, maybe this'll work. See what happens. No. Still, what the hell? Int G menu resume. Why isn't it? I'm going to point out both of those instances were actually not working. Because there was 2 errors on there. Uh, I maybe also create instance isn't doing what I think it's doing. Okay, I think I see now. I think I see. I think I. Oh, well. Okay. So I'm kind of right here, it looks like. But if I get rid of inst, that might actually work. So what this is effectively doing is it's creating... It creates the instance, but I can't set the instance names from here. I need to... Hold on, so let's go to setting G menu. Okay, so G menu select. Okay, that might work. No. Object UI selector, create 0, line 17. Object UI game, step 0, line 100. What is going on? Okay, this G menu is... The game menu is doing this, and then on step, it's got the variables being assigned. On press, goes to G menu 1. Or G menu I, which is... G menu resume, setting, main menu. Let me see here. I'm just getting a picture of this to send off. so... Variable object selector G menus. No, not set before reading it. Oh, okay. Okay, so if I go to, let me go to the, okay, this is the selector. Um, so it's not pulling, I think it's not pulling the ID. Okay, so G menu selected should be getting pulled out of Right, right, right. Now I remember. Now I remember. Ugh. Okay, so I think what's going on is when I go to here, right? Okay, let's see something here. I'm going to disable this for a second. And then I'm going to draw a GUI here. Let's see if this works. Alright, this does work. I know it works. No, it doesn't. Area object, draw event for object UI game. G menu resume. Oh god, I fucked up that. Right, right. Because I got rid of the inst part in front of these. Right. That's correct. Alright, so there you go. Resume, settings, main menu. All set. Okay, minus 300, minus 100, plus 100. Right. Right. So I think what I want... Okay, let me try drawing something here real quick. I'm just gonna draw trans... No, you know what? I can just do this. G menu resume. Alright, so what's gonna tell me for this? 100025. So that's, I guess... No, that's not necessarily the instance name, is it? This is only an issue because I kept the R button in to do this. But I wonder if I do this, it should just keep playing. Yeah. That's something to be fixed later. When I remove that functionality. Is there a way to rename the instances? Change an instance to an instance of another object. Destroy a position. Destroy instance. Get alarm. Get instance count. Call user an event. Speed instant rotation. Sprite instance variable. This might be something I use the code block for. Okay, so let's go to create instance. Instance create layer. How do you change instance name? Change name of instance using code. Its nearest instance place, runtime. Rename object instance. Rename a file. It's not at all. Let's see, do you have to rename these things manually is my question. I just want to be able to rename these instances. There's gotta be a function that lets me do this, right? You know, I just had a thought. Will this work? I don't know why I had this here. I put that in there for some reason. I just had a really silly thought. So if I go to Selector G menu, and I just go here and I disable this entire bit here. See, will that work? I actually don't know. Let's find out. Alright, I disabled that, didn't I? Okay, so that's under UI game. Under step. Enable. There we go. Let's see if it works or if I have to disable everything in order to get rid of it from calling it. Yeah, I have to disable everything. Got it. Game step 0, create. G menu resume, not set before reading it. Oh, right, that's here, right. Uh, I wonder. Okay, so that's obviously not working. I just had a really stupid idea. Let me try something here. So if I go to UI game, create instances are getting sent. Let's go, object. Object. Selector G menu. Dot. G menu resume. So I guess I actually have to put this one up top now. So object selector G menu gets G menu G menu resume, G menu setting, and G menu main. Actually, no, these should probably be in a separate thing, shouldn't they? So I'd probably go like... I'd probably go like assign variable here. So what I actually do is create all these things, then take these, assign them to... applies to this one. And this is G menu resume is that. Then this. And here. This is probably not gonna work, but let's find out. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. G menu resume not set before reading it at G menu resume. Okay, abort. Okay, you know what? Let's do something else here real quick. Let's do this. Resume is equal to 0. Setting is equal to 1. 2. There we go. So I've got temporary setting value there. And the idea is that afterwards this will get reset by what's going on in the game. It worked. All right, now I've got to change how this is so these are just temporary values effectively. I've got to go to UI game. I've got to change the draw order, I guess. So this is going to go on top. There we go. All right, so we can change the draw GUI bit. So resume no longer has this on it. And now we could probably go to the selector as well and re-enable all these bits that I had disabled. So nothing's disabled anymore, right? Yeah, looks like it. Good. Okay, so that works fine. Now the question is, why isn't it working when I push enter? So, let's see. Basically, this entire part is fine. Variable, yep. This works. Actually, did I try it with the keyboard? I don't think I did. Let's see. No. Huh. Gmenu selected.x. Jump to point gmenu selected.x. I mean, this... Okay, yeah, gmenu selected is the closest instance with the object menu type. Mouse previous Y. When down is pressed, it should flick around. Yeah, that's fine. Gmenu selected is gmenu I. Assign variable June selected gmenu resume. Assign variable on I 0. Enter 0. Okay, so what's the exact error that I'm getting? Push up, it tells me step event for selector. Unable to find instance for object index 2. Unable to find instance for object index 2. Let's see. Get instance variable. No, because this is only pulling out specific... This I'd have to manually... This is this instance. Okay, so get instance. So I need to pull... That's probably why then, because it's entering, but it's not actually entering on this. Or, more importantly, the UI object might not be sending over the values properly. Yeah, it's definitely not sending those over properly. Okay. So... Okay, so let's see here. So for starters, let's set... on Selector G menu dot... G menu resume. I think this is right. Object selector G menu dot G menu setting is equal to menu setting and selector G menu dot G menu main. There. So that should do it now, because it should set the variables in this. It's not. Why isn't it doing that? Okay. Why is this happening? It says here, unable to find instance for object index 2 at GML object selector G menu step 0, which is G menu selected.x. So it's still not setting it properly. It's still not setting it properly, which is the annoying part here. See, if I set both those to 0, what's going to happen? I wonder. Yeah, it's not doing it. Yeah, I think I know why it's not doing it. It's because this is actually being assigned before those values can be changed over. So let me try something here. If I do this, if I just create a new one right here at the very, very top, what's gonna happen? Is this gonna break because I don't have the macro assigned to it properly? I fixed it. Hey, I knew it. I knew that was the problem. Okay, so this isn't unpausing it, which is a separate issue. Okay, that was a different problem that just happened too. Okay, so let's go here. Settings. Not working. Error in action number 1 of Selector. For object. Oh, I forgot I turned off the selector in the settings. That's right. Okay, so that's a separate issue I need to work on now. But okay, so we want, if it's set to this, it destroys the menu instances. Global pause gets set to false. Now, if global pause is set to false, we go to UI game on step, and this is basically this thing too. Global G pause false. Okay, so if it's set to true, else if it's set to that, and then okay, so that's only if you press escape though. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I actually just want to grab this. Yeah, I think I just need to do this, and that should do it. So go back to selector settings. Nope, that's the wrong one. If I go back to G menu. There we go. So that should work. All right. Start game. Pause. Up, down doesn't work. Left, right doesn't work. Up, down, in fact, changes it to be this. Resume. Can move again. Game's working. Perfect. Main menu. It works. All right. Now we do the other problem that I was working on, which is this, which for some reason is not functioning. And it was someplace in the create event that was not working properly. Okay, so if I do this, I get a compile error that says alignment operator expected. What does this say? All right, so this one, I'm not even sure what the problem is. Hmm. So, where is it then? Okay, so let me go through here one at a time just to see if I can figure out what's going on. Because one of these things disabled does turn it off. So if I turn off these two, I'm pretty sure I still get the compile error. Yes. Okay, so how about if I turn off these two? Still get the compile error. Okay, how about these two? Compile error. These two. Compile error. These two. Okay, so it's something in there. So just to check, if I turn these back on, this should work now, right? Should still work. Good, it does still work, in fact. So what's going on here? So the compile error tells me that there's open brackets someplace, which there shouldn't be open brackets. But I'm not seeing any here. Okay, setting, sound effects. Okay, you know, let's enable this. No. Wait, okay, let's disable this one, enable this one. Just to check. Okay, yeah, so it's this. This one specifically is the problem right here. Okay, so let's take this. I'm going to just duplicate it. Do this. Okay, no. This one. This one. Okay, so this entire assigned variable thing, for some reason, is not working right. So this entire thing, for some reason, is causing issues. Select. I wonder. Because it only happened when I started working with this thing. So if I just change that to settings... That's the only thing I need to change, I think. And the one in here, too. Selected. G menu selected. Is resume. Go to the settings room. Okay. I think that might be the problem. So let's try re-enabling this. Yep, that's what I thought. It's macro things interacting with each other. That's what's happening here. So if I go back to this, in that case, I can change this one instead to be, let's call it G settings. Because this is a variable, but it's also... It's a variable, but also it's a name for another thing. So I've got to be really careful about naming these things now, I guess. This is what I was afraid of. Let's see. Game menu, resume, not set before reading it. Well, there's an easy way to fix this. And by fix this, I mean not actually fix the problem in the least, but at least the thing will run properly. See, go to room. Going to menu main. And also set global variable. There. There we go. It works. Alright, well. That's, it works, but it's still not great. So, let's go to my to-do list here. What I wanted to even do was get the winner thing today, but hey, that's not happening. I'll figure out how to do that later. So we're gonna okay. So one other thing we're gonna have to start looking into is actually I got this one. Use surfaces and just what was it? It was call function deactivate all. Yeah, function call instance deactivate all. All right, that works for that. Okay, look into scripts. I don't think I need to really. I can still look into scripts. Okay, so that I think is a good little bit of work done today. I got a pause menu. Hey! Still not done, because I'm going to have to figure out how to actually do that next time. I guess I'll have to look into surfaces next time. Drawing to surfaces and all that stuff. Because what I'd need to do in that case is... what I'd need to do is, first off, the settings. I can keep the settings room. That'll be fine for, just loading up the game. You go to the settings room, you do the stuff there. But what I'd want to do also is have a setting surface that pops up during the game alongside the menu. So, game deactivates all instances, draws like a screenshot of the game to the thing, creates the menu that I have. Like, the menu's all set there. I don't need to worry about that. And then when I select settings, it draws a new menu on top of that, which is the settings menu, but not actually the settings menu. It's a new settings menu, which is actually a surface. And I need to get all that stuff working. So I need to get the surface going, and then I need to do the surfacing stuff in order to figure out how to pause the game proper, like set up a menu. The menu's all set. The menu is all set. I need to set up the surface though, so I can actually set up the settings menu on top of the game, and then after the settings menu is done, it resumes the game in the state it was left off in, even though it really shouldn't. I can always just do a reset the game thing there, or I can just have like, I can have options that change because it's not the real settings room, it's just an approximation of it. And actually, now that I figured out how to do that thing, I can set the arrays up properly. So, like, I'll still keep the named instances for stuff like the main menu, settings menu, that sort of thing, because it does make it much easier to work with. But now that I know how to get the array functional without having to do that, I no longer have to worry about that. It's all there. I can have the arrays pull as the things are drawn in. I can have the arrays get the value added to it so that it's always set. So that's actually a good thing I learned how to do that, or figured out how to do that. Okay. Excellent. So, yeah. So next time I guess will be surfaces. Then after that, probably controls. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that for today. It's a lot of work, even though it doesn't feel like it. Trust me, it's just... there's a lot of things that go into making a video game, as I've discovered. And as I said last time, I can no longer fault somebody who doesn't want to have both mouse control and keyboard control or whatever for a menu, because it's kind of a pain to set up. At least in this, it's a pain to set it up between two things. I imagine if you're doing it something like Unreal or whatever, it probably is not as hard because it's built in, but in which case, the fuck those people, they're just lazy. But no, in a case like this where I'm literally programming a function that actually detects if it's moving the mouse or moving the keyboard, like this I'm not going to begrudge anyone who doesn't want to have to go through that hassle every single time. All right. And of course, the best way to do this is just going to be, instead of having those little menu objects, you just have a JPEG that pops up, and then you have invisible instances that pop up on each of those things, and those are what the menu selectors are actually going and attaching to, instead of individual menu object buttons, which is a completely separate thing. Completely separate thing. Anyway, yeah, that's where we're going to leave that. So, functional. I don't have any bugs left, I don't think. Let me see, actually. What happens if I go to... I'm pretty sure this is still going to... Yeah, that's still going to break it. Error in that. Variable object ball speed not set before reading it at... This is why you do the surface stuff. All right, well, that is something to deal with next time then. That goes under known bugs, I think. All right. That's where I'm going to stop that one. So, as always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching me work on this little side project of mine. And by side project, I mean I'm basically just doing it every week, so it's kind of a main project. Eventually, this will be in a state where I could, like, possibly say, hey, you could pay money for this, too. I don't think it's ever going to reach a point where, like, can I go on... Let me look at something right here. Can I go on the App Store right now and just download Pong? I bet I can. Oh my god, Diablo Immortal's out. Let's see. Yep, Pong, right there. Free download. 1 or 2 player. That sure is Pong. Yeah, so this would never be until I do something actually very significant in this game and make it worth paying for, it's never gonna be paid. Like, you just download for free, or at most pay to download donation wise. Like, I'd have to actually significantly modify what I'm doing here before I'd bother, you know, getting people to pay for it. Anyway, yeah. So, that's that. I'll be back tomorrow with Pathfinder the Wrath of the Righteous, probably a little later than normal. If it goes too late, I'll just send out a tweet calling it off. But, that's the current plan. So Pathfinder tomorrow, next week more of this, and next week also probably Elden Ring. Like, I'm going to be real, when that game comes out, I'm just going to stream. I'm just going to play the game and also have the stream on. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be, like, going and chattering all the time like I do with the normal streams. I'm just going to be playing the game, and if you want to watch, feel free, but I'm just going to play it. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm leaving that. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, nights, what have you. I'll put this up shortly with a little note that there's a known bug. So yeah, see you next time.